Hi friend, welcome to my channel. Let's normalize inside dates. Let's stay inside, cook a beautiful meal for your significant other. Let's jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is grate some cheese. So I'm going to grate some Montreal Jack cheese and some mozzarella cheese, okay? Approximately 2 cups, okay? And I always tell you it's better when you shred your own cheese because it's going to make it more cheesy and more gooey. And I always like to put the remainder cheese that I did not shred into a Ziploc bag so that way the cheese don't get dried up. All right? Nice little tip for you. Then I have my red skin potatoes. I want to leave some potatoes. I want to leave some skin on there, but not too much. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove some of the skin, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave some of the skin as you see. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my potatoes and I'm going to cut them up into smaller pieces. And the reason you want to cut your potatoes before you send them off to boil is because it's going to make it cook faster. The smaller you cook them, the faster they will cook. So if you just drop them in there all big like that, it's going to take forever in a day for those potatoes to cook, okay? So here we have them. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to wash our potatoes. Potatoes are really dirty to me. They always have this dirty water when you first wash them. So just make sure you do wash your potatoes, okay? And I always like to give my potatoes 2 washes. So this is the first wash. I'm going to go ahead, make sure they're clean, make sure they're separated because some of them weren't fully cut. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a second wash. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm put in my little pot and I'm going to put some water on there until all of my potatoes are completely covered. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm put 2 teaspoons of salt, and I'm gonna let those bad boys boil right on the oven top. Boom. Moving forward, so now we have our bacon. I'm using the Great Value brand of bacon, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a couple of them. You can take how much you so desire. It depends on how much bacon you like on your food. This is a serving for 2 people. I'm going to need the bacon for my loaded mashed potatoes, and I'm going to need the bacon for my macaroni and cheese, okay? That's what I need the bacon for. So that's how much bacon I wanted to use for it, okay? And this is a serving for 2 people. All right. So here I have my bacon. I'm just separating them, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on the side. Now I have my steak, okay? I'm using ribeyes. I have 2 bone-in ribeyes, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean my meat. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take some lime juice. That is definitely a lemon. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just wrap the lemon, squeeze the lemon all in there, go all around on the steak with the lemon, just to clean my meat, okay? If you do not like to clean your meat, you don't want to rinse it off, you just want to slap it on a cutting board, season it, and put it on the stove, baby, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to clean mine, so I'm going to just show you how I did mine, okay? I went ahead and used that lemon, went ahead and wrapped it all around the ribeye. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rinse off that ribeye, okay? So now that I have washed my ribeye, what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to remove the excess water that has came inside of this meat. And the reason that you're going to need to remove the excess water is so that when you go to put your steak on the pan for it to sizzle, if you don't do that, it's going to boil. So what we're going to do is take a napkin and we're going to go ahead. We're going to pat it dry to make sure that there's no excess water in the steak. OK, we're going to do both sides. We're going to wipe the cutting board and everything. And if you're like, yo, that's way too much napkins to be using, you can always use a clean cloth that you trust. And it's your house, so if the cloth dirty or not or whatever. A clean, dry cloth, just go ahead, tap it dry, because you could always reuse the cloth. You could just wash it and reuse it, because people be on a budget, keep trying to buy paper over and over. Maybe you ain't trying to do all that, and I definitely understand that. So that's just another idea for you, okay? So let's go ahead and grab our seasonings. We have the little 3 best friends, okay? We have Montreal steak, we have kosher salt, and we have black pepper. This is all the seasoning you need for your steak, and it's going to make it set it off, okay? And then we're also going to be using some olive oil. So the first thing that we're going to do is going to put some of that olive oil on your steak, okay? Put some of that olive oil on your steak. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to massage that olive oil into the steak, okay? This is gonna make the seasoning stick better to me, okay? I feel like it makes the seasoning stick and stay in there. All right, we're gonna massage it. Like these steaks done had a long day at work, and we're just gonna go ahead and give them the best massage that they ever did get. And baby, you're gonna be so good to that steak and touch that steak so nice that steak ain't gonna have no choice but to taste amazing, because it's gonna feel like it owe you something. I'm trying to tell you, okay? Whew, yes, make love to the steak. Slap the steak. Turn it over. And continue to give that steak a nice massage, okay? Add a little bit of olive oil and, continue to massage. Continue to massage, okay? Make love to that steak, okay? Make love to that steak. I'm trying to tell you. Because once you treat that steak like this, like that steak ain't gonna have no choice. That steak gonna feel bad. That steak gonna feel bad if it don't work out. It's gonna feel bad if it don't treat you right. I'm trying to tell you, okay? I'm trying to tell you. Okay, now moving forward, we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab our 3 little best friends. We're going to go ahead. We're going to add our seasoning. So the first one we're going to add is the Montreal steak. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add some kosher salt. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add the black pepper. The reason for the kosher salt is it helps it get the steak a nice sear, a beautiful color. And if you do not put the the kosher salt, on there, and even the black pepper, the sear is not going to be as nice. And it has to be kosher salt, okay? Not idolized salt, kosher salt. If you don't have it, baby, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and you ain't trying to go back outside, go ahead and use the idolized salt. But I definitely recommend you keep some kosher salt at your house if you love to eat steak, because that's the best salt to use, okay? And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to massage that seasoning into that steak, okay? Just like this, just like that, okay? Make love to the steak all over again, all right? All right. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to leave that seasoned steak to the side. We're going to be moving on to our next course of the meal, okay? Before we do that, you guys, I just want to show you guys my seasoning rack, because I took my time and I fixed it nice, and I was very proud of myself, even though it's going to get messed up in a couple of 2.3 seconds later. But you know what? That's beside the point. I was very proud of my seasoning rack because I really did a good job on that, okay? So here I have some water that's boiling, and I'm going to put 1 cube of chicken flavored bouillon and a little bit of oil, and this is going to be for my macaroni, okay? Go ahead. We're going to let that boil. While that's boiling, I'm going ahead and I'm finally frying my bacon. Ooh. Yes, that was just food pouring over there. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to put the bacon in a pot, and then that's a pan. And then we're going to go ahead. We're going to let it cook when it look nice like this. It depends on you. I don't like my bacon too crispy. Crispy bacon is nasty to me. So you cook it how you like. That's the way it is. That's how I like it. So I took it out. Then I have my macaroni that's cooking. I use the corkscrew macaroni, you guys. I use 2 cups. All right. And then after that, I went ahead and I strained it, and I'm just shaking it. I did add a couple, like 1 teaspoon of butter in there so it don't stick together. All right, then I have my potatoes, and that's done boiling. And let's check it. This is how you check if your potatoes is boiled. You stick a fork in it. If it goes right through it like that, it is cooked. You want to make sure you don't overcook your potatoes, because if you overcook your potatoes, it's gonna make you have mushy potatoes. It's gonna look starchy. It's gonna be mushy. It's gonna be a mess. So do not overcook your potatoes, okay? And there's no fixing that. It's a mess, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna strain it. This is how I strain mine. Be careful, because when you do it like that, the heat is coming up and it can burn you. So make sure you know what you're doing, okay? Be very careful if you choose to strain it the same way that I did. All right. Then I got my potato masher, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mash my potatoes. You could mash them however you like. Some people actually like little chunks in their potato. They don't like it to be mashed all the way. And some people, they're like, it's called mashed potatoes. It's supposed to be mashed, and they want it to be smashed all the way. So, baby, it's up to you. I wanted mine to be smashed all the way. So I went ahead and I smashed it all the way, okay? Just like this, just like that. Then I went ahead and I grabbed some heavy whipping cream, and I put a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream into there, okay? You want to be careful when adding the heavy whipping cream in there, because if you follow my recipe, you're going to be fine. But if you want to be grown and you do it differently, I'm just letting you know, just in case you make your mashed potatoes and you're doing it a little differently. When you're adding liquid, if you add too much liquid, you're going to have soupy mashed potatoes. So you don't want to add too much liquid. So you want to add a little bit at a time, because you can always add more, but you can never never take away. So you can't fix it if it's soupy. Well, yes, you can. You'll have to boil more potatoes, but that's more work. Who's trying to do all that? So you don't want soupy mashed potato. Add a little bit of liquid at a time, like the heavy cream at a time. Then I went ahead and I added some cream cheese. I add about an ounce of cream cheese in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix it in there, and I'm gonna let the cream cheese melt into the mashed potatoes. You guys trust me, adding that cream cheese in there, it's gonna make it taste too good. All right, then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put that in there. Garlic powder, onion powder, they go in everything. You could put that in everything and get away with it. And they do not have salt. They are not a salt-based seasoning. They are flavor. So you could really put more. It won't hurt the food. You can't really, it's really hard to mess up by putting those seasoning, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put a little bit of salt. We only put 1/4 teaspoon of salt because we already put so much in there, trust me. And then we're gonna put the bacon, and we're gonna have some cheese on there. You don't want to OD it. Don't try to be a hero. Put 1/4 teaspoon of salt, okay? Boom. So then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start making my roux for my macaroni. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. I'm not really going into detail with this recipe because I do have a video on its own on how to make this macaroni and cheese. So if you really want to make it, you could go ahead and watch that video. So I did go ahead and I added some butter. I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese, and then after that I'm gonna add the cheese that I want to say like a 1/2 cup of the cheese that I had grated already. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mix it all together until everything starts to melt. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add this Parmesan Romano cheese in there, mix it all up, make sure everything comes together one as a unit. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some garlic powder and some onion powder. Like I told you, it goes in anything, and a little bit of salt. All right. Then after that, I'm just going to go ahead and continue mixing until everything is well melted in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my bacon. On the video on itself of the macaroni cheese, I did not add bacon, but on this one I did. But that's just like you just add the bacon, so it's not really too much more of a step. All right. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to put our corkscrew macaroni in there, and we're going to mix it all up like this, like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more cheese from the cheese that I had grated. Okay. So here I go adding the more cheese that I had grated. I'm going to add like, I want to say 1/4 cup. All right. And I'm just going to keep adding a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix it. And that grated cheese that you grated by yourself is so creamy and so gooey because you grated it and they don't have that flour substance that the cheese that's already shredded for you has. So it's gonna make your cheese really it's gonna make your macaroni really cheesy, and you're gonna get that cheese pull that you're looking for. Okay, you see that? You see that? You're gonna get that action that you're looking for. Okay, boom, set that to the side. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to start cooking our steak. The steaks were so big that I could only cook one at a time, even though I'm using a fairly big pan. If you've seen my video when I introduced you to my 3 Ninja pans, Ed, and Eddie, this is Eddie, the biggest pan. And the steaks are still too big to be cooked together. So I'm cooking one steak at a time. I'm only going to let you see me cook one steak because you do the same thing to the other steak, so you don't need to see 2. I went ahead and I added 2 garlic cloves, and I added some rosemary, and I went ahead and I let that thing get a nice sear, and then I went ahead and I flipped it. I suggest you only cook the steak, well, let it sear for about 1 to 2 minutes, and then after that, you put it in the oven. If you do not like your steak all the way cooked, like you like it rare or whatever with a lot of red inside, you don't even need to put it in the oven because just searing it, then you should be fine. But I like my steak medium well, so I am going to put it in the oven for like, I say about like 4 to 3 minutes, okay? All right. So here I have this garlic butter that I'm going to be using. I'm going to have the description of it, the name of it in the description box. So have no fear. I'm going to have that for you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm put some butter on there. That thing looking so nice already. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some cheese that I had shredded. I'm going to put it on top of the macaroni. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these breadcrumbs right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on top of there, just like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven, and I'm going to let it get a nice color. It's going to go in the oven the same time the steak is going in the oven, okay? Then I have my what is called again, asparagus. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my asparagus, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut off the ends because the ends of the asparagus is inedible, which means you cannot eat them. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put about 1 teaspoon of butter. I'll say more like 1 tablespoon of butter. Let it melt. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my asparagus, okay? Go ahead, line them up like this, like that. Stand them in a row. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna add some black pepper. Then we're gonna go ahead. If you want to, you could add your little seasoning salt or whatever. If you don't, then that's your business. I went ahead and I added some seasoning salt. Then I went ahead and I'm mixing them so that, you know, they all can cook. All right, let them cook for about like, I'll say about like 4 minutes, okay? Depending on how you like them, okay? I think 4 minutes is more than enough. Boom, just like that. And boom. Just like that, your meal is done. Everything was in the oven at the same time. When it come out, boom, there you have it. We have our loaded mashed potatoes. We have our macaroni and cheese. And last but not least, we have our rib eye steak, okay, and our asparagus. This right here is a beautiful meal for you to make for your significant other, and you guys just stay at home and relax. This is a gourmet meal. This is a luxury meal. And you could do it all in the safety of your own home, and it's more cost effective. And if you don't have a significant other, treat yourself because you deserve it. And tell somebody I said that. Tell them I said it. I said it. You deserve it, baby. So thank you guys for watching. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye. Until next time.